Hello wonderful people, it's Genevieve, and in this video we are going to learn how to paint a watercolor jellyfish in Procreate. And it's absolutely super easy, you'll see. Just create a new canvas and let's start drawing. So the canvas that I am using is absolutely gigantic, as you're going to see. It is 4000 per 5000 pixels, which is just massive. And the reason for that is because I'm using one of the pre-textured files that come with my brush bundle, so you can see it has this really cool watercolor paper texture. But you can use really any size canvas that you want, and you don't have to have the texture and effects layers. That's totally fine. All you need is to create a new layer, rename it Hood, and we're gonna just start painting. If you don't have the watercolor brushes, go ahead and just in the airbrushing panel select the hard brush and lower the opacity, and you're gonna be able to get some overlay. You are not gonna get watercolor textures, like it's just gonna be flat like this. But with good technique, you will be able to get it somewhat to look like watercolor. It's not going to be perfect, but it's better than nothing. If you do have the watercolor brushes, however, which by the way, they are always linked in the description below, along with a special promo code just for the YouTube people, go ahead and select the Dark Edges watercolor brush, and you can pick really any color you want at this stage. And what we're going to do here, we're going to draw this kind of beanie shape for the top, starting with just an oval, which is the opening of that beanie shape. And then we're just drawing the top and filling that in. So you can see here I did it with like two different parts, the opening and then the beanie top, and I only lifted my pencil twice. Since we're having overlays, every time we lift our pencil it kind of resets and creates some overlays. So we're going to take that to our advantage, but we want to just keep that in mind. So if you don't have the watercolor brushes, go ahead and set your smudge tool to medium brush or soft brush from the airbrushing panel. Otherwise, go ahead and set your regular paintbrush to water blend, and we are going to blend some of those overlays. So when it looks too digital, that's what we don't want. We want something that feels like real watercolor, so we're just going to use either the smudge tool or the water blender to blend the digital overlays. We're also going to blend inwards the bottom part of the opening. So we want to keep the external edge really sharp and crisp, but we want to blend in the internal edge towards the center of the hood, if that makes any sense. If not, just look at the video and you'll understand. I'm pretty sure that. You can also change the shape of the hood a little bit. So if you use the selection tool, the arrow icon, set it to distort, you can just move your shape around a little bit until you like it perfectly. Once you have your hood, we're going to actually move on to drawing something that is called the arms. I didn't know that they were called the arms, but apparently that's what it is. So you're going to create a new layer below the hood and rename it to arms. And the arms are basically very fluffy, smooth, flowy things that float around. So just go back to the brush that you used first. So either an airbrushing brush or just the Dark Edges watercolor, and we're going to draw those flowy floating things. So what I like to do is just start from the middle part of the hood and then draw two flowy things. There's really no way to describe it more than that. And once I have kind of the main shape and direction and flow for the arms, I like to just go over and then add some squiggly bits. So right now, I don't know why, but when I'm doing this voiceover, it just looks to me like I'm drizzling some mustard over a hot dog or something like that. But yeah, you just want to add basically a little bit of just like random movement and shape. And once you have that, you're going to go back to either your smudge tool or the water blender, and you're going to once again blending the digital overlay effects. But this time you're not going to worry too much about keeping the actual edges crisp. We want to have something that it's kind of like, when you're using these tools, it's like you're dropping water on your painting, and that would dilute either the ink or the actual pigments of the watercolor, and it would just like make it bleed into the paper, and just the paper would absorb the water and the ink. Anyway, it creates this really cool watercolor effect if you do that. I recommend that you try to follow the direction of your strokes. What I mean by that is you don't want to just go across, because then your blending is going to look a little bit off. So try to move your pencil in the same direction of the general curve of the arm drawing. If you've made it this far, congrats, because this was the hardest part of the tutorial. Everything else is going to be a piece of cake. So go ahead and create a new layer between the hood and arms and rename it to Tentacles Front. So we're going to draw the tentacles on 2 separate layers. This one you're going to set the blending mode of to linear burn. And to draw the tentacles, I like using a very sharp brush, so either the thin intense watercolor or a brush from the inking panel. And with your same color, all you're going to do is you're going to draw some tentacles. So the thing about jellyfish is they're floating. So you do want to have some idea of a general direction where the tentacles are going towards, but you also want to make them feel like, they're floating. So you're gonna have some curves that are fairly different to the others, and some curves that, like most of the curves, are going to be fairly consistent and going in the same direction. You're also going to blend in the very top of the tentacles, so going back either to your smudge tool or your water blender, you're just going to gently blend them in. And then we're gonna redo the same thing, but with back tentacles. So what I mean by that is just go ahead and create a new layer, put it below everything, so even below the arms, and name it Tentacles Back. And basically all we're going to do here is just we're going to create some tentacles that are lower in opacity, and that's going to give the effect that they are just further away and that they're kind of disappearing in the water. So you're just going to lower the opacity around 20-40%, something like that. And with the same thin, intense watercolor or inking brush, you're going to draw, again, same thing, little tentacles that start from the center of the hood and then just float towards the bottom. But this time they're going to be paler and they're going to be behind, and it's just this really cool little effect. And one of the really nice things is you can always go back to your layer and lower the opacity or up the opacity and just make them blend in perfectly with whatever you were doing. And speaking of blending, don't forget to go ahead and use the water blender or the smudge tool to smudge or blend the top of the tentacles. So right now we have the base, but it looks a little bit monochromatic. So go back to your arms layer, and with the selection tool set to freehand, go ahead and select a wobbly shape at the bottom part of the arms, and then you're going to feather that shape around 40-50%, somewhere in that range. It doesn't have to be precise. And in the adjustment panel, select hue, saturation, and brightness, apply it to the entire layer, and if you play with a hue, you can actually change the color of parts of the arms, and that's really, really cool look, in my opinion at least. You can really go with something totally different. You can even change the brightness a little bit, maybe a little bit of the saturation, but I would recommend that you stick with mostly the hue. And you can do the step twice with a different shape. So again, just freehand, wobbly shape, feather around 40%, and then just shift the hue, and that's going to add so much dimension, and it's just going to make your jellyfish really, really pop in a massive way. It also makes it look a bit more watercolor, because when you paint with watercolors, the pigments tend to blend together in this kind of way. So anyway, you can also use this technique on the hood. So selecting your hood layer, this time you're going to probably focus on the bottom part of the hood, and you're also going to feather, but this time probably more around 30%. And I recommend that you, again, play with the hue, probably going with a similar hue that what you had in the arms. But I also recommend here that you lower the brightness, which is going to add some dramatic effect to your jellyfish, and you might want to lower the saturation a little bit. Okay, so this is starting to really look cool, but we're gonna make it pop even more. And to do that, we're going to create a new layer above everything, so above the hood, and we're gonna rename it White, and we're going to add some really cool white details, so it's just going to make the piece look so much more detailed and crisp. For that, I like using the coloring pencil, but you can use the HB pencil that come from the sketching panel. And of course, we're going to just set it to white, and we're going to draw some little lines on the hood. So some lines that come from the opening at the bottom to the top, and they're going to be slightly curved. So again, just think of the hood as a beanie. So a beanie, you would kind of get this curved shape that gets the curvier the closer you are to the bottom edge, and then the curvier you get towards the top of the actual beanie. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you're confused, you can always either look at the video, or you can even Google like knitted beanie, because then you're gonna see what I'm trying to say. But yeah, we're just trying to show the actual like three-dimensional form of the hood by drawing some simple little lines here, and it also helps the piece, again, like I was saying, feel a bit more detailed and interesting. You could also do this with a very dark version of your main color, but I think white just makes everything look just brighter and more fun. And you can also add like maybe 2 or 3 very thin white tentacles to, again, add more dimension and just more movement in your piece, but I wouldn't go overboard, like no more than 3 for sure. And we're also going to add some really cool watercolor effects, starting by creating a new layer, renaming it to splatters. And this layer is going to be, again, above everything, so even above the new white layer that we created. And we're going to set the blending mode of this layer to linear burn. We're going to go back to the main color that we use, in my case this really nice blue, and we're going to pick the splatter brush. If you don't have the watercolor brushes, you can use the a brush from the airbrushing panel, or spray paint panel I should say, sorry, but it just doesn't look quite as good as you can see. But all you're doing at this point is just adding some really fun splatters to make a piece feel a bit more like real watercolor. So you could totally skip this step if you wanted to. And you can also use the technique that we use in the arms and on the hood to change the color. You can use that on the splatters. So selection tool, feather your selection around 40% and just shifting the hue. So that way you get some splatters that are like the secondary color as well, which, you know, it just, these little details that make everything feel just so much more professional and just more interesting in general. If you have the watercolor brushes, you can also add some reverse splatters with the salt brush. And the way to use the salt brush is you start from a blank space of your canvas and then you just drag it towards your color. So in my case, I'm going in with the salt brush on the arms, but you could also do it on the hood. And you can see it just adds some white little splatters and speckles. And again, that's just really fun little details that you can add within a few seconds. And at the end, if you're not totally satisfied with a shape, you can always use the liquify tool, set it to push and just tweak it a little bit. You don't want to completely change it, like you wouldn't turn this jellyfish into like a gorilla or something. I don't know why I thought of gorilla, but you can kind of tweak it a little bit to make it feel a bit more like what you had in mind at first. But other than that, there you go. This was how to paint a watercolor jellyfish in Procreate. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, because believe it or not, it really does make a big difference in helping the channel, and I would love to see what you guys create, so make sure to share the results with me either on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe because I put out new videos every single week. I'll see you soon.